My name is Ed and I am addicted to project cars.
Hello, thanks for joining me. Today I have got something a little bit exciting. I've got myself another project car. No, I didn't think there was room for another one here myself either. But I've squeezed it in because it is for a very special cause. Now this isn't my usual kind of thing, as the name suggests. I'm into minis. I do have a bit of a passion for Mercedes as well. This is neither of them, and it's something that I've never worked on before. Not in this spec anyway. I've worked on slightly later ones, but it's not something that I'm scared of. And what it is a 1967 Triumph Spitfire 1.3, and it is well cool. I've absolutely fallen in love with it, and if it didn't mean so much to the current owner, I would definitely be trying to buy it off them. So, just to give a bit of background about the car, why I've got it, how it's come to be, what we need to be doing, and then we'll get into what we're doing tonight. The car belonged to an older gentleman for a long time, and sadly he passed away, and he has left the car to his granddaughter. She has asked me to get the car up and running, do a bit of a health check. It's got a few loose ends, a few little bits that need finished off, a few little bits that need tidied up and made sure that it's safe and roadworthy. So I am going to do that. It has been off the road for I think a couple of years, and currently it is a non-runner, but I don't think it's going to take much to be up and running again. I've had a look in and out and throughout the car, and it does look like a good car. There's no horrible alarm bells going off. It's had a lot of work done. It's had a lot of body work done. It's had a lot of electrical work done. But the engine seems complete. Everything's there pretty much. I can't see any obvious reasons why it shouldn't just start and run. But we're going to go run through some health checks. We're going to make sure the engine is safe to start up without causing any dramas. And we'll do a little bit of a walk around it as well. So let's get out there and see if we can make the old girl purr. Let's go!
Guys, here we are. 1967 Triumph Spitfire. Still dusty from the garage that it came out of. Gorgeously pretty little thing, isn't it? Love the little details like this. It's not a bad looking motor. The bodywork isn't ideal. It's not perfect. But to be honest, if it was perfect, I think you'd spoil it. I quite like it in here. There's a few little things. It's not bad. The roof's in pretty good condition. It just needs a good clean, really. The frame seems in good nick. It fits well. Some of these brackets up here that hold the roof are a bit slack and need a bit of adjusting. It wants a good tidy out. There's lots of bits and bobs hanging around. In here, a few spares. We've got some brake pads and a spare coil, and looks like a tornado cover. But most of it's all here. We've got a bit of wiring going on down here, which needs looked at. But it's a car. And it smells absolutely fabulous. It smells like the 19s. Smells are a big important factor for me, especially in classic cars. It has to smell right, and this has the smell. If anybody's been in classic cars, been around classic cars, you'll know what smell I'm talking about. You can't recreate that smell. Once it's gone, you've gone. Once you start changing every single piece in here for brand new, you lose that smell. And there's a big part of the character, and character is something that this car has lots of. It holds a lot of sentimental value to the owner, and I'm going to try and keep that. Not make it perfect. Perfect wouldn't be appropriate. We need to make it a runner, we need to make it driving, we need to make it safe. We need to make it so she can get out and use it, because really what's the point of having a sports car like this if you can't get out, get the hood down on the open road and enjoy it a bit. So I'm going to open that lid and see if we can coax it into life. Now, this is something that I've never encountered before. When I get cars here, normally end up with a folder of some scratchy bits of paper, some receipts. But when this came, I was given a suitcase. I've never taken a suitcase before with a car, and it is a period suitcase. It's quite nice, and if we open it up, it's absolutely ram-packed full of manuals, invoices, receipts. There's another manual there for a different Triumph. We've got parts catalogues, the gear knob, and the smell inside this suitcase matches the smell inside the car. I just think that is absolutely fantastic. The bonnet on these is the whole front. Got a couple of clips each side. The whole thing jumps forward. Got massive access to the engine. That's up there out of the way. You can get all the front suspension, the brakes, all of the engine, everything electrical. Top. So now we're in, we can see the engine. It is a 4-cylinder twin carburetor 1300 unit. Nice little engines these. They're not bags of power with the Revy. They're quite nippy. The car is very light. It's only 750 kilos ish. You don't need a lot of power for this to be a fun car. It looks all complete. All the throttle linkage is all free. All the distributor caps are all present. The leads and everything. We've got a coil there. Everything's plugged in. We do have a bit of stray wiring and some loose connectors and things like that over here, which I will tidy up. Some wires that have been joined, some inline fuses that have been put in. I will go through the whole electrical system and make sure that it's right and tidy and everything works. But for tonight, we're just going to see if we can get it started. If we can get it started, I can potter on with all the other little bits and bobs, knowing that this car has a good heart. Okie dokies then, so we need to do a few checks before we fire this up to make sure that we're not going to do any damage to the engine. As I said, this car was on the road definitely in the last 10 years, but I'm not sure how long it's been off the road, so we're going to do a little bit of a health check just to make sure that nothing's broken, nothing's catastrophically wrong that's going to cause us any problems if we start this up. So first off, I'm going to make sure the engine is not seized. The easiest way to do that is to just get a hold of the crankshaft. Get in. Oh, there we go. Okay, I can turn that. Don't know if you can see this fan turning here. That engine turns, so we're not seized. The belt is slack, so I'm going to have to tighten that up just so we don't lose it, flap it about anywhere. So that's a good start. Fluids. A little bit dry in there, wants to top up. We do have a little bit in the overflow. I did spot there is a coolant pipe on the other side. This coolant pipe here, get you in, has a split in it, you can see here. So we're not going to be able to run this engine for very long, as that is going to cause a water leak, but we can definitely get it fired up. Right, so let's have a look inside this distributor cap. Now it is worn a little bit. You can see some witness marks on there, but it doesn't look horrible. There's no moisture in there, which is a good thing. Again, the rotor arm doesn't look too old. Neither do the points. They're not too bad in there, to be honest. Everything looks like it would go. I am going to give it a little tickle with one of these. This is a points file. It is brilliant for just cleaning up the edge of your distributor cap there. Just to get that little bit of crud that builds up. I'll give the edge of the rotor arm a little tickle too, just to get any contaminants off of that. And it is great also for getting inside that points gap. Just open it up. Get a little clean. Right, I'm happy everything in there looks alright. Obviously when I do get into this properly, once I know the engine is running fine, we will be doing spark plugs, rotor arm, condenser, points, dizzy cap as a matter of service. There's no reason why that shouldn't just work. Make sure we didn't disturb too much there. Right, next, spark plugs. Leads, make sure they're in decent nick. No obvious splits or anything. A little bit black, you can see that. Looks like it's running quite rich whenever it last ran. I'll give that a bit of a clean off. That might just be because it was only ever ran on choke. Maybe it was only been warmed up and never had a proper run. Maybe it needs a little bit of a tune up as well. The plugs themselves look in quite good condition. Doesn't seem to be too much wear on the electrodes there between the top and the bottom one. They're still quite square. They're not all rounded off. The gap isn't massive. NGK plugs. So they should be alright. Okay, we've checked inside there, we've checked the plugs, they seem alright. We are going to tighten the fan belt up in just a moment. The coil is connected. The starter solenoid is connected. All this wiring looks alright. We do have a little inline fuel filter down here. Move you down a little bit. So we've got an inline fuel filter here, and the fuel in there does look a bit dirty. I have had a peep in the tank. There's not a lot of fuel in the tank, and it looks a similar kind of colour, like it's maybe gone off. So I am going to whip the tank out and drain that. But for now, what I'm going to do is just bypass this. What we can do, since we have a mechanical pump, get out of the way, you speedo drive. Because this is the mechanical fuel pump, little primer there, we can just take this fuel line off. If the clip will come off. There we go. The fuel doesn't smell great. It's going to come out of there. Put that back on. I'll get something to plug that hole, huh? Okay, there we are. I've just put a bolt in the end of that pipe and nipped the Jubilee back up, just to keep that from making a big mess. Right. So, here we go. Got a piece of pipe here that will fit. Push that in. Oh, got that screwdriver though. There we go. We've got a jerry can of fresh fuel. Put that in there. Right. Auxiliary fuel source fitted. I'm going to have a quick look in the top of the carbs just to see if that's full of manky old fuel. Right. So I've got the float bowl open on this carb and it is completely dry inside. No fuel in there. So I'm just going to make sure that this float is not stuck shut. There you go, you can hear that working. All I'm doing there is blowing through the fuel inlet and opening and closing the valve there, and that is behaving as it should. So let's have a go getting this off. This one's a little bit more difficult. Some of these screws don't look amazing. This one looks amazing, doesn't it? It's coming. There we go. Oh, I've snapped it. Oh, great. Right, we'll have to deal with that. Same story though, completely dry in there. There we go. Same again. There we go, that one's working. It was a little bit stuck, but I think it's freed off there. Yeah. There's some mark in the bottom there, eh? Right. We'll deal with that snap bolt later. If we can get it going, I'll be happy. Okay, we'll adjust this fan belt. Slacking that one off, that was very tight. And this one. Back. Right, come on then, should we give it a go? That is awesome. I'm so excited. It was a little bit lumpy there, especially on idle. When I picked the revs up, it seemed to be a little bit better, but it still definitely needs a bit of a tune-up. I'm going to strip them carbs and clean all the mank out the fuel, out the balls. I've got a couple of fuel leaks that I can see here and here from this pipe, and obviously that bolt that snapped. Everything else seems alright, no horrible massive leaks, apart from that water pipe that we knew about. But it runs, and it sounds alright. There's no horrible clattery noises, just wants a bit of a tune-up. Okay, the carbs are clean, new ignition system, set the timing, set the tappets, and hopefully we can get it running a little bit better. And I'm going to take that as a win. That's fabulous. Well, there we go, huh? A little bit of love, a little bit of magic, and it runs. Not too bad, huh? Like I say, it does need a bit of a tune-up. It's nowhere near ready. It didn't want to idle itself there, so we'll have to clean the carbs, set the tappets, set the timing, new plugs, new points, new condenser, fuel filter, get the fuel system rigged up properly. But it's nice to know that there's a good engine in there, and we just need to figure out its little quirks. Yeah, I'm really happy there. So I can carry on now and get the other little jobs done while I'm waiting for some bits so I can tidy up some of this messy wiring, that leaky pipe and what have you. A few bits inside need tidied up. So I'm happy that I can just crack on and we can deal with this. We've got a few more bits. There is something I want to point out. I don't do this kind of stuff for anybody. If you message me and ask me to work on your car, I'm probably going to say no. So please don't ask me to service your Corsa. Don't ask me to do a full restoration on your Mini, because you've seen my workshop is tiny. I haven't got the capacity. The only reason I took this on was because the owner is a friend of mine, and nobody else that she knew was going to be able to sort this out for her, and she deserves to have this nice little bit of history from her granddad back on the road. So I'm doing this as a bit of a favour. In an ideal world, I would be back in there getting on with the other stuff, but I just couldn't say no. So yeah, please just bear that in mind. I haven't got the capacity to do everything for everybody. What you see on this channel is mostly my own cars. I just wanted to point that out. Well guys, there we go. I'm going to call that a win. We've had some success there. We've found a few little jobs that we need to do, a few little fuel leaks. The carb's going to want cleaning up, what have you, but there's some life in the old girl yet. And I'm beaming, you can see there my smile. I absolutely love it when things like that work. I don't know how long that engine hasn't run for, but yeah, so I just want to get in and do the rest of it now. It's 9:20 at night now, and I want to stay up all night fixing the rest of it. Well, I've got the car for a few weeks, so we'll take it steady. We'll get it all done. We'll get it all right. I've got a jobs list that keeps growing every time I look at it, but it'll be a good car when it's done. So I hope you enjoyed that video. I sure enjoyed making it. If you're into classic cars, if you're into minis, if you're into Triumphs now, we've got a bit of that. I've got the old motorbikes here. A few modern things kicking around as well. Please do give the channel a like. If you're new here, do subscribe to the channel. I find myself doing new things every time I come on here. I'm predominantly classic mini based, with full restorations going on, but I always find myself involved in other things. So please do give the channel a subscribe. I think there'll be something here for everybody. Leave comments. I love reading people's comments. Leave your comments, like the videos. Share with your mates, you know, get the channel out there. We're slowly growing a bit more of a viewer base there. We're close to 300 subscribers, which isn't a lot in the grand scheme of YouTube, but for me it's a lot because I'm just one guy here in my own garage. So yeah, like, share, subscribe. I'll catch you next time. Have a good day.